Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving, and today we have some very interesting news to share with you, and that is basically early next month, that's in July 2019, Geely will be launching the latest facelift of the Boyue. Okay, and those of you who are familiar with the name will know that the Boyue is also sold here, or rather a variant of it is sold here as the Proton X70. Okay, so we've just launched it here about 6 months, right? I think, yeah, about 6 months, and already the new facelift is going to be launched. Well, that's not very strange because at the time when we launched the X70, which is actually a variation of the Boyue, yeah, they didn't take the vehicle exactly the same. They made some changes to it, like for example change it to right-hand drive, and then of course they made the customization for the front grille and all to give it the Proton look, yeah. And I think it also runs a Proton steering wheel, or at least it has a Proton logo on the steering wheel in the front. So it does take time to do all those conversions, yeah. And also the Boyue had been selling in China for about a year before they introduced the X70 here. So now it would have gone, by July it would have done 2 years, and in the normal product life cycle it's time for a facelift. Okay, so that's not so strange, yeah, because we launched the X70 midway through the first life cycle of the Boyue. Okay, so that being out of the way, what's the difference? The basic build-up remains the same, but there's a new front. In the front end, the grille, okay, I got a picture here. The grille is a bit straighter, and I'm not sure it looks better. Okay, I'm quite attached to the look of the X70, yeah, with the localization and all that. It actually, in my personal opinion, I think it looks better than the Boyue, you know, the original Boyue. And so there's the new front, and then along the sides there's not much change. Of course there will be new wheels, because of the new front. The bonnet also has been redesigned because the new front now sits straighter. Now whether that will come to Malaysia or not, we don't know lah. Okay, but it in a way it's refreshing. And then say when it comes for Malaysia to do its facelift of the X70, I suppose having a straighter grille will be the next logical step to go, because right now it has the Breve and Suprema type of face, yeah. It's going backwards and with the infinite weave. Actually that shape has actually quite grown on me, and I quite like it. Now along the sides there's not much difference, except that you can see a little bit of the rear, where they have curved it slightly more by redesigning the rear lights, okay, to give a more 3D effect, yeah. It looks nicer. And there's a rear roof spoiler. Of course rims will be changed every time they have a facelift. They have a change of the rims. Okay, now in terms of the engine, from what I read from the website, the 1.8 litre engine still remains, but they will be introducing a new engine variant, which is the 1.5 litre turbocharged engine. And this is the same engine that is in the Boyue, and which will be launched as the X50, supposed to be August 2020. That's next year here. Okay, so the transmission is also changed, I heard, and of course the 6-speed manual, which we don't see here, is available in China. And then from what I see of the website, it says there is a 7-speed DCT, which is dual clutch transmission, available. It doesn't say much about a 6-speed auto, but I think they might still retain it for certain markets. It all depends on costing, because the DCT will cost more than the automatic transmission. Now, looking at the inside, there's quite a few improvements. The center console is changed. It looks much better. That includes a very canggih looking gear stick, and also the infotainment system screen looks much better. And I understand that the new model also comes with the GKUI infotainment system, and insofar as our Malaysian context, you include the high Proton if it ever comes. So the question is whether Malaysia will follow, or rather Proton Malaysia will follow the same timing as or rather when will the facelifted X70 appear here. My opinion, basically, I don't think it will come so often, and I think you'll have to run in Malaysia the rate they're going. They're going to sell maybe about 80 to 100,000 of these units, and I think there'll be a fair number to expect them to want to sell, because of all the tooling to make the conversions, and also the body parts, yeah, like the grills and all the things that they do to make it look like a Proton. There must be a certain volume, although it's not very much lah, because if you just look at the front grille and the little parts that they do that make it Proton, the lights and all, I think maybe 40,000-50,000 units would be a viable, what you call, number to make it economical. But of course, the more you sell, the better it is. Now, I don't see the X70 facelift coming for at least another 1.5 years to 2 years. Why? It's June now, and they're launching the new car in China next month. I heard it's the first week of July. So it will take them at least the first 6 months of the new launch. As in all new models, they're going to be scrambling all over trying to get those cars produced and delivered to the Chinese customers. So don't expect that they will have time to make cars for the Malaysian one, right? Because whatever it is, even if it's CKD, it has to be packed. It has to be made and packed into the boxes and brought here. So it's not likely to. They're not likely to want to start work on the production of the modified version. Yeah, they probably have the mechanicals all there. So if they don't do any change to the mechanicals, which means they run the same gearbox and all that, it will take them at least 9 months to start working on the right-hand drive, or rather the Malaysian version, because I'm sure the Malaysians are already working with the Chinese on the new design. I'm sure they know about it, but the date of introduction we don't know. But from my guesstimate, you won't see it for 1.5 years minimum. Okay, more likely 2 years. So now it's June. 1.5 years down the road, you're looking at December 2020. Okay, and maybe first quarter or second quarter of 2021. That's when you will see the upgraded X70 based on the new Boyue. Another reason why I don't think it will come so fast is they are already planning to launch the X50. Okay, and the X50 is slightly smaller, not that much smaller. Yeah, it's only about 4 inches shorter. Okay, and it's about the same width and the height, and it has although it has a 1.5 engine, yeah, some people will laugh that it's got a three cylinder engine. Okay, but it pulls 177 horses, yeah, and that is only a few horses less than the 1.8 turbocharged engine. So of course we all know that Volvo is involved in this engine development, and if you want just take an example of 3-cylinder engines, there is the BMW 1.5 3-cylinder engine that pulls about 180 horsepower. So having 177 horsepower is it's in the ballpark, yeah. So it's going to be quite powerful, and it's going to be slightly smaller. So the question of whether Proton want to retain the 1.8 and make it a product differentiation that the X50 should have a 1.5 and the X70 to have 1.8, that is entirely up to the management. But actually there is enough power in the 1.5 engine to even pull the current X70, because the horsepower is only that little bit lesser, and in practicality it really makes no difference. And of course the newer engine would be more fuel efficient. Okay, so as to whether Proton makes the 1.5 available for the X70 will be a matter of cost, yeah, and also whether they want to have any differentiation between the two. Alright, so that being the case, it'll be good. You can of course look at all the pictures and dream about how nice the X70 would be in the facelift version, but if you want to see it really quick, coming here really quick, I don't think that will happen. Of course I could be wrong. Yeah, there's a car coming. Of course I could be wrong, but I'm just putting my guesstimate, yeah. So if I'm wrong, then it's good lor. Everybody gets to see the new car very soon. But if I'm right, well, you don't have to hold back buying the X70 now lor, because the waiting list is still quite long. And when the X50 comes, maybe that's going to be another big piece of news. Alright, so anyway, that's my piece for the day. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, and we'll try to give you more amazing content like this. Bye for now, and see you later.